close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let go of the noise of the day, the traffic, the deadlines. Imagine floating in a space of absolute silence, absolute darkness. We are traveling back in time, before the earth existed, before the sun warmed our faces, before the stars painted the night sky. We are going back to the very beginning, 13.8 billion years ago. There was no space, there was no time, there was only a single point, tiny, hot, dense, a point containing everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. Then, in a fraction of a second, it happened. Not an explosion, but a breath, a magnificent expansion. The universe stretched out, unfolding like a flower opening to the morning sun. Energy rushed outward, creating the fabric of space itself. In these first few moments, the universe was a sea of light and heat. It was too hot for anything to form. Just pure, glowing energy dancing in the void. As the eons passed, the universe began to cool. The blinding light faded into a deep, velvety darkness. This was the cosmic dark age, a time of silence, a time of waiting. But in the dark, something was happening. Gravity, the great sculptor of the cosmos, began to pull together clouds of gas and dust, swirling, dancing, closer and closer. Imagine these vast clouds, heavy and silent, drifting through the abyss, until pressure and heat ignited the very first spark. Light returned. The first stars were born, giants of blue and white fire, illuminating the cold dark. They were the ancestors of everything we know, the factories where the ingredients for life were being made. It is a beautiful thought, isn't it? That in that ancient, violent furnace, the atoms that make up your body right now were being forged. We are, quite literally, made of stardust. Those first ancient giants, the ancestors of the sky, did not live forever. They burned bright and fast. And when their time came, they didn't just fade away. They gave a final gift to the universe. They exploded in magnificent supernova, scattering their enriched dust across the cosmos. This dust was special. It held carbon, oxygen, iron, gold, the building blocks of rocks, of water, of life. Let's drift forward in time now. About 4.6 billion years ago. We are in a quiet corner of the galaxy. Just a floaty, colorful cloud of gas and dust. A nebula. It hung there, peaceful and still, until, perhaps, a shockwave from a distant explosion gently pushed it. Gravity took over once again. The cloud began to spin, slowly at first, then faster, like a skater pulling in her arms. Most of the material was pulled to the center. The pressure grew intense. The heat became unbearable. And then, ignition. Our sun was born. Not the angry red giant it will one day become, but a young, stable yellow star. A beacon of warmth in the cold vacuum. It took 99% of all the material in the cloud, claiming the throne as the king of our system. But what about the leftovers, the remaining 1%? Surrounding the newborn sun was a disk of dust and rocks, spinning like a great cosmic record. It was a chaotic, beautiful mess. In this disk, tiny grains of dust bumped into each other. Instead of breaking, they stuck together. Static electricity held them like magnets. Tiny specks became pebbles. Pebbles became rocks. Rocks became boulders. Over millions of years, these rocks collided and merged, growing larger and larger. They were the seeds of the planets. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And there, in the perfect zone, not too hot, not too cold, a rocky world was forming. It didn't look like home yet. It was a ball of molten fire and rock. But it was the beginning of Earth. But this young Earth was not the paradise we know today. It was a hostile world, a churning ocean of molten lava. The sky was not blue, but a hazy, toxic orange. There was no air to breathe, and the earth was lonely. It wobbled on its axis, unstable and wild, until a wanderer arrived. Ideally, we picture space as an orderly clockwork, but in those early days it was a shooting gallery. A planet, roughly the size of Mars, named Gaia, was on a collision course with us. They crashed. It was the most violent event in our planet's history. The impact melted the surface completely and blasted trillions of tons of debris into orbit. For a while, Earth had rings, just like Saturn, but gravity is patient. Slowly that debris circle gathered together. It clumped into a glowing ball of rock. It cooled down and turned gray. The moon was born, our silent guardian. It stabilized the Earth's wobble. It gave us the tides. It slowed down our wildly spinning days. Without the moon, we might not be here at all. As the chaos settled, the Earth began to cool. The lava hardened into black crust. But something was missing. The most precious ingredient of all, water. It came from the sky. For millions of years, comets and icy asteroids bombarded our planet. They were the delivery trucks of the cosmos. They carried frozen ice from the outer solar system. When they hit the hot surface, the ice turned to steam. Clouds formed, thick, heavy clouds that covered the entire globe. And then, the greatest rainstorm in history began. It rained for centuries, possibly for thousands of years without stopping. Water filled every crack, every basin, every valley. When the clouds finally parted, the red planet had vanished. In its place was a blue marble, a water world. Beneath the surface of those primitive oceans, in the warmth of volcanic vents, chemical reactions were starting to happen. Complex molecules were forming. The universe was about to do something magical again. It was about to wake up. But that is a story for another night. For now, look at the Earth. Stable, cool, blue, floating peacefully in the silence of space. You are home. Rest now.